Hey, good evening. So, accessories are still good, even if you have Odin accessories. The Odin accessories are moderate resist all elements, and that's really cool, but I go over it every now and then, but it's something that is good to repeat. Resistances on accessories are boosted by Realm Synergy. So it says moderate, and a moderate resist is 30% resistance, but with Synergy that moves up to 40%. And that's actually a pretty sizable upgrade on damage resist. So I've kept basically all of my accessories and just dumped them into the vault. I even expanded my vault just to keep holding accessories as I was getting them, because I was putting off dealing with this, and the problem keeps on growing. So the purpose of this stream, because I was bored, I figure it's time to finally start tackling this and find out which of these realm synergies actually matter. If you want to be really safe, just keep on buying vault space. Because I'm sure Dreambreaker isn't going to be the last realm content that we see. However, the time lag between Torments and Dreambreaker was pretty large, and you can expect that new realm content after Dreambreaker is probably going to be very, very far off into the future, if not never occurring. Because you always have to keep in mind that the game is going to have a finite lifespan. So why, if you can get value out of this just heap of shit that has been accumulating, now, instead of benefiting slightly from it, 2 years from now, I'm gonna take the now. I'll take the rainbow crystals now, because we're gonna be making, or at least I'm gonna be making a ton of realm artifacts for Dreambreaker, and the rainbow crystal crunch is real, even if you don't level them up that much. So I want rainbow crystals. They are going to be very useful for me now. I want the benefit now. So what we're gonna do is use this Reddit post that I'm gonna post in chat. And take a look at some of the Dreambreakers and see what realms have accessories that are good versus their Dreambreakers. Because there's a lot of dual element accessories, as well as single element versus bosses that are going to be doing single element damage that are they're strong. If you can get that extra 10%, there's no reason not to use that. Versus the boss, it's a significant increase in damage resistance. So we're going to start with tactics. Well, we'll start with Final Fantasy IX, because Final Fantasy IX was the first Dreambreaker, and tactics will not be for another 3 weeks. So, it looks like we have a lot of accessories in Final Fantasy IX. Holy shit. This is the last one. So what was that? 19 accessories. What is worth anything? It appears, according to this this list, that the Final Fantasy IX Dreambreaker is a wind and ice damage boss. 700 max HP. No, thank you. I think it's fine keeping these around, but there's so many of these in the game now. You know, we have two 1000 HP accessories and a ton of 700. I don't, I may just blow this up. Piercing attacks are affected by elemental resistance. They don't pierce elemental resistance. So the fact that they're piercing is actually not relevant. Piercing means it pierces the defense statistic and the resistance statistic. It nullifies those, but elemental resistance provided by accessories are unaffected. Because defense and resistance are pierced, it actually means that your elemental resistances are even more impactful. Because it's your only line of defense. Other than, you know, the rest of the stuff in the game, like damage reduction barriers, stone skin. Okay, dark and poison element resistance. Well, you can blow that up. That has nothing to do with this. These are lightning resist. We can blow those up. So let's just search for what can't be blown up. Is there anything? So we've got wind resistance here, but if the attacks are dual elemental, wind and ice, being able to resist one at a high rate means that you're just gonna, with the way damage is calculated in the game, what it's gonna do is it's gonna create two values. It's gonna say, okay, this is how much damage I would do to you if I was dealing wind damage, and this is how much damage I would do to you if I was dealing ice damage. And if you're defending against wind resist, or if you're defending against wind at a higher rate, it's just going to say, oh, well, I'm going to do more ice damage. Well, this attack now deals ice damage instead. So defending against one element is generally not useful. So this is not a... Even though this defends against one of the elements, it's not any good. Wind and water. It's too bad it's not wind and ice. I'm sure a lot of the bosses' AIs are, or their scripts are designed to work around some accessories. These are fire resists. Fire and ice. So it doesn't look like there's any useful accessories in Final Fantasy IX. This is the only one that you could even make a fringe argument for. But, no, there aren't going to be a lot of useful accessories. It's probably by design. Because when moderate, how much HP is that under Syringe? I don't actually know. I've never even looked into that. Let's go find out. Are you... The Synergy Simulator does not affect HP in the vault. Oh, it doesn't at all. You have to look at it from here. What's that? 1050. So it's a 50%. So 700 turns into plus 350 for 1050. That's a significant amount of health. So Final Fantasy 15 Torment is pure non-elemental damage. It's physical only, which is why you'll see a lot of Torment teams in Final Fantasy 15 completely equipped with HP accessories, because there's no reason to use any elemental resists. So in those realms, if that exists, if there exist boss scripts that do one of two things. One would be if they have no elements at all. And yes, according to this list, Type 0 and Final Fantasy X are completely non-elemental. That means HP accessories in those realms are going to be very useful. But there's also the possibility that, you know how I was talking about wind and ice in Final Fantasy IX? Well, what if a boss does wind, ice, and non-elemental damage? That adds a third, quote, element to the attack, and it can also use non-elemental. So if you're defending against all elements with an Odin accessory, the attacks can just switch to non-elemental instead. Making the elemental resist useless. But it doesn't look like this list suggests ever doing that, even though it does have a line that says attacks combined with elemental, non-elemental components are starting to become more common, and there is no way to defense against it, so the focus is on the pure elements. It does not actually reflect that much here in the list. Final Fantasy II, only 2 attacks are defendable against. The non-elemental component is getting more frequent. What it means by defendable is that the attack is only elemental, which means that you can bring a fire and lightning resist accessory, which Final Fantasy II has. And Final Fantasy IV, bio, only 2 attacks. So I guess what it's claiming there is everything the boss does is either strictly bio for 2 attacks, or there's attacks that are bio non, or bio fire non, or, you know, X, Y, Z plus non-elemental, which means you can't defend against it. But if there are bio attacks in the fight, it's probably a good idea to have bio resist. So the Final Fantasy IX HP accessory, not that useful. Because if there's wind and ice attacks, you're almost certainly going to want Odin accessories equipped. Because there would be nothing that could, you know, be better than those. There's nothing that gains elemental or realm synergy that increases their defense above the Odin accessories. Are debuff resist accessories worth keeping? It's up to you. They're still useful for multiplayer raids and stuff, but every hard content in the game, unfortunately, has had auto-hit statuses for what seems like forever now. And yeah, they're not, unfortunately, not useful. And they've been not useful for so long that there would be riots if they all of a sudden made resistance accessory or status resistance accessories useful again, because everyone's blown theirs up and they're gone. You know, you can't get them back. So if they all of a sudden made them useful again after all of this time, everyone's accounts are now just, you know, starting from 0. And Yeah, it's probably not a PR situation that the company wants to deal with. So I would assume that they will not be useful ever again. Hold on. I'm gonna do my daily Magicite before I forget about it. Now that I'm over 20 stam. Sitting on them? I honestly don't know what I'm going to do with my Rosettas. So I went over it in typing a little bit earlier. Well, not necessarily. Yes, for the most part they are. But I'm thinking that there might be situations, and I should probably like create a list of where these situations arise, where in a realm, because of damage type buffs, not buffs, like Legend Sphere, damage type, increases. If I wasn't inside this battle right now, I'd be able to show you, but like Agrias gets plus 3% damage when dealing damage with a sword equipped, and Orlandeau has a Legend Materia Relic that gives him plus 20% damage when using a sword. So there's overlap there, and right. Well, yeah, a Realm Sword with max augments, because that would mean that you could use the Realm Artifact on somebody and then a Realm Sword on somebody. But I think I think Realm Artifacts give so much main stat that it's actually not even... you should throw away that 3% in most cases. Because the main stat increase of using, say, if I used a dagger on Agrias and got rid of her 3% increase, the attack buff that she would get by using a Realm Artifact would be more damage increase than that 3%. I think that's probably true for everything except for maybe sync weapons. So if I had Orlandeau's sync fully augmented, maybe that makes it worth using over an artifact dagger. You know, to combine the high attack of the sync weapon with the 3%. But I can hear the main takeaway is that's just a maybe. So you're not going to be punished by blowing up all of your 6-star weapons and your Rosetta Stones and just turning them to Rainbow Crystals. Because if there is, even your sync weapons, whatever. Because if there is a benefit, it's marginal at best. So, why put yourself through the hours-long min-max session of figuring out whether you should be using a sync weapon instead of just an off-type artifact. Just use artifacts. Because we have the stones. What we're gated by is rainbow crystals. So if you can get yourself more rainbow crystals, then just do it. I think that's probably what I'm going to end up doing. It's weird. It feels like there's so many 6-star weapons in the game, and they're still making 6-star elemental weapons. Why would they just double down like they have on the artifact system and just completely make them all useless? I feel like that's counterintuitive for what you want to be doing in a gacha game if you're trying to make money from it. And that's like a thing that gets in the back of my head. You're like, is this going to be true forever? And it seems like it should be, but I don't know. That's just blow up all your shit. Artifacts are too powerful, and that's the long and short of it. They are going to do artifact armor. Not as it doesn't. I don't believe it's as extensive as the artifact weapon system, and that's crazy too. You know? Because I feel like elemental armor is like a thing, you know, it's value that we assign to banners. And by introducing a bunch of artifact armor, they are reducing a value that we assign to banners. Be like, oh, that's a 6-star elemental relic. Oron's OSB. You know, I would never, in a million years, want Oron's OSB. Yeah, you do only get 2 pieces per element. That's what I meant by not as extensive as the weapons. But they're still... They still make them exist, and they still are reducing the value of 6-star elemental gear. Are there any sync armor? I don't know, I haven't actually looked at that. Is there any 7-star native elemental relics? Oh, thanks. Thanks, Nox. There are? That's nice. How are the stats on them compared to 6-star? Hello, Senkichi. Oh, did I? Oh, my memory's shit. $200 defense, jeez. Well, it is a shield. What's the resistance? Only 135. Not. Yeah, it's a decent boost over this shield. Any light armors yet? I want to see what the light armor is. And maybe hats and stuff, you know, that have strong main stat. Alright, let's get back to this vault thing. So it looks like I can just completely clean out Final Fantasy IX. Just depressing. Like, blowing up all these relics. It hurts. Next up is Tactics, and Tactics is an interesting one because it does have single element damage, which is a hell of a lot easier to defend against than multi. Final Fantasy Tactics is strictly holy damage. So holy resist, which I believe is on something with magic on it, but that's fine. You know, you don't really care about the stat. You care about the fact that this gets improved from a 30% resist to 40. Mimu Hat gives 46 on main stat. Oh, that's not that good at all. What did Shantota's hat give? 45. That's literally what we're talking about right now, Zenkichi. None of the Final Fantasy IX relics defend against the damage that the Dreambreaker does. That's the entire point of the stream, just to figure out what are worth keeping for Dreambreaker. So these, the red shoes, everyone's going to be dancing. Because we do have 3 Holy Resist accessories in Final Fantasy Tactics. Maybe more. I haven't really been keeping track of what I've lost and stuff like that. Oh, that's Final Fantasy 1. Not that much to go through here. Sleep instant KO. Well, I can get rid of you. Earth. And this is Dark and Blind. Dark and Blind. So, 3 red shoes. Pretty useful. Pure holy damage in the Tactics Dreambreaker means that these will be boosted to be more useful than Odin accessories. And that's the key. What to use instead of Odin accessories. So, not only that, but since Final Fantasy Tactics is single element, it means the major holy resist is good too. We got way back in the day. Those are from the Nightmares, aren't they? It's been so long. Okay, after Tactics is Final Fantasy V. Which does fire and wind damage. Necrophobe wards are fire and lightning, not good. Poison element resist, no good. Winds. More... oh, no, water. Ice. Water. Fire. I'm going to keep this one around because this is probably something that... and I think a lot of 6-star accessories are probably going to share that, is these are kind of special. They do more than the other accessories do. So if there is... this will be where I draw the line, you know? Yeah, that's true. I don't even know why I'm sending them to my inventory. Because you can roll out from the vault, so I should be unlocking them. Anyway, this is where I'll draw the line. I'll keep stuff like this. Who knows? Maybe this triple element will be useful, you know, way later in the game. Nope. 500 max HP and lightning resist. And that's it. So no useful accessories here. Oh, I can max, I can, what is it? Batch unlock in regular inventory. More crystals than I could possibly create. I don't know. I have a lot of artifact stones. Let's see. From 45 to 50 is 20. So 1, 2, 3, 4, 5, 6, 7, 8, 9, 10. 200. Plus 60 times 26. So 6, 12. So I need about 1,700 artifact rainbow crystals, I think. $1,760, close. Alright, after Final Fantasy V is Final Fantasy XIII, which is single element holy. Easy to defend against. We have one single accessory, and it's a good accessory too. That's gonna end up being 750 max HP and an increased moderate holy resist. That's a nice accessory. It's too bad we only got one. Final Fantasy III, Fire, Ice, Lightning, only one attack on slots 2 and 4. For Lightning. Don't think there's going to be much useful for this. Major resist to Petrify. Definitely bringing that. Thanks, Rephi's Earring. Dark and Lightning. It's an interesting accessory. It's too bad it doesn't do anything. This is Fire and Mines? Yeah. Petrify. Silence. Oh, it's a 6-star. What's it do? Lightning, Earth, and Wind. Thank goodness. I'll keep it like I would with the Final Fantasy V one, but it's not like this is going to be useful for Dreambreaker at all. So that means Final Fantasy III has no useful accessories. Final Fantasy VII, single element dark. Nice. Found you. Got you. Got you. It's a 6-star anyway. Well, it's a shit 6-star. Major resistance and KO, thank goodness. I'm glad that's useful. Used to be one of the more useful status resists, too. Because you could resist gravity damage. I don't know. I don't know why I have only one. Like I mentioned earlier, I have not tracked my accessories. Usually as soon as I get them, I put them in the vault. I just don't think about it very much. Well, looks like we have 2 accessories here. 2 different types of accessory. If, you know, other people have more than one of these. But this 6-star, moderate dark resists, and this guy. Could be in the inventory. Or I just don't have it. And that's definitely possible. I used to like this accessory, as it was kind of useful outside of, you know, difficult content, just to have around. Used to be great. Oh, the Chocobo event that's still active? The one that I haven't done any for? Anything for at all. It hadn't even given me the intro screen yet. Oh, there it is. Oh, yeah. Okay. You're right. Yeah, there is no mass unlock. It's only mass lock. Oh, boy. Maybe this is why I've been putting this off. Guess I might as well do this from the Rainbow Crystal screen. This is so sluggish. They're not necessarily worthless. Some of these are still useful for speedrunning old content, but I noticed during my last speedrunning kick that I loved doing the torments, and the torments were a lot of fun, but 5-star are not fun at all. It doesn't even feel like you're playing against a boss. It's just how fast you can make your team do damage, which wasn't enough to get it up for me. So there's gonna come a point where I'm not gonna care about how useful these are against for speedrunning old content. Doesn't always worry you, even though you know you've probably made the right decision. Just irrevocable decisions. Only getting 30 crystals isn't bad. It's half of an artifact. Do you really want to do this? This is a lot of 5-star shit. Yeah. Yeah, I know. I make a personal policy not to play anything that has re in it. So I've completely ignored its existence. Because it's just weird. It's weird why there's so many Japanese games that are just have that in it. I don't get it. It's like, be creative. If you care so little about your game that you're just lazing around with the title, then I don't care about it either. No, we already went over it. Status resistance is not useful. Why would I keep those? Against my better judgment, I'm going to keep that HP accessory. And I think I'm going to keep HP accessories. Pure HP accessories. I got the vault space now, that's for sure. I always wondered about this. This is total selected 20 of 40. But it won't let me select any more than 20. Is it for like another category? So when it comes to status resist, like, I'm not gonna completely clean out, because we always have, you know, these. We get these every now and then, and I'll keep those, whatever. But am I gonna keep something like this? Just a major paralyze resist? No. Well, if I can save myself 500 soul break points by using a status resist accessory, I'm gonna do that. But that doesn't do anything anymore, so that's why we're here. Yeah, I usually lock everything as soon as I get it. What do you do again? Oh, yeah, well, you're definitely gone. Can you sell the Odin ones? Probably. I'm not gonna even entertain the thought of unlocking one. Just in case, like, Blender comes over and jumps on my hand and I input the right amount of stuff to delete one. Just some freak accident. Alright, so that wave looks like it's done. Moving on. We went up to Final Fantasy 7, so 14 is next. Only 7 accessories. Fire and Dark. I don't think any of this defends against that. Nope. This is Wind. Yeah. These are some pretty damn useful accessories for the Torment, though. They're all great for the Torment. Earth, winds, and fire. Right? Yeah. I think that's one of the first times that I talked about resistance accessories being buffed by Realm Synergy on stream, was when I was doing the Final Fantasy XIV Torment. And because of that, it makes me really not want to do this. I'm going to keep my 14 for now, because my 14 Torment time isn't great, and I would not mind going back and redoing my 14 Torment if I pull some 14 stuff during the festival, which I might, because Papalymo and a sales crap is in there. So we'll hold off on 14. Final Fantasy VIII, strictly wind damage. Useful. These are 8. I always, for some reason, thought that these were Final Fantasy X relics. Not that beneficial to blow these up because they're only 4-star, but they have 5-star tier stats. I don't get it. Glow curtains were OP. Oh, wow. Got another one of these, huh? That is, it's wind damage Dreambreaker and 500 HP, or 750 with Realm Synergy. So, keeping that. These are wind, that's nice. They're plus magic, and that... I just had a picture of Rinoa wearing Fusion's eye patch. It doesn't fit. It doesn't fit at all. But all 3 of these are wind resist, so that's 4 wind resist accessories. So we're already where we want to be, because the 5th can be major wind. Wind and dark resists, there is no reason to keep this, because if there's no dark damage in the fight, then I mean, make your choice which 3 that you want at this point. Do you want Fusion's eye patch, or do you want these lamps? Well, I think the lamps are pretty nice icon, but at least the plus magic is useful for something on Rinoa, Quistis. What other mages are in 8? Oh, Adia and Ultimecia. You get barely anything for blowing up 4 stars, so I'm just not gonna bother. It's not even worth unlocking them. Oh, Fushin! Yeah. Just, you know, has her namesake on the damn item. And Squall has black magic too, right? He can cast the spells. Next up, Final Fantasy II. Well, Final Fantasy II is an easy one. Only 2 attack are defendable against fire and lightning damage. Fire and lightning damage. As long as there's no water damage, then the Gigas Armlet... Well, even then, canceling out the water vulnerability is actually quite easy. Because most of the time, you do not care at all about... elemental resistances with Magia. They don't do anything because they're overwritten by your resistance accessory. It operates on the same... It's the same buff. So if you have an resistance accessory equipped, that's a 30%. So the 10% that you're getting from your Magia, it just is erased from existence. That changes a little bit with the Gigas Armlet, because Gigas Armlet has a vulnerability on it. So I believe it's a 30% in the other direction, which you can overwrite by putting a single Magia point in water. So it will take the higher value of 0.1% water resist over the 30% vulnerability. So if it's fire and lightning, then these dark accessories, no bueno. Fire. No good, just by yourself. Not like it matters anyway. We're defending against every element with 5 full accessories. And these are basically 6-star accessories. There's no reason for me to get rid of any of them. Oh, that's Final Fantasy 1. After Final Fantasy 2 is Final Fantasy 4, which is 2 bio attacks. I remember how good these accessories were back in the day. 300 and moderate. We have better ones now that do 500 and moderate, but these protect rings, I remember like curing up my whole Eisgebind team with those. I forget that. I forgot that fight even existed. Isgebind? What am I doing? 4-star Ice Magicite for newer players. You may have only fought it once. So what are we looking for again? Bio? Is there any bio? Resist Infor? It was a very difficult fight. It doesn't look like there's any bio-resistant 4, so cleaned. Except for 6-star, which it's a status resist, but I don't know. It's got 20 mind on it, I guess. I'll keep it. It's 6-star. It's nice and hot pepper red. Final Fantasy XI. Wind, water, fire, ice, and lightning damage. Well, I don't think there exists any accessory ever that can defend against 5 elements as well as Odin accessories can. I think we're just clearing this out. Next up, now we get to the interesting ones, type 0 and 10, which don't use any elements. So where are those HP accessories at? And not only where are the HP accessories at, but stat accessories. These, every accessory in the game becomes useful when there's when the Odin accessories are proven bad. So 15 mind is actually fine, because that turns into 23, so that'd be over what a 6-star would provide. Well, I think I'd take I would take the accessory that gives HP in mind over that. Where are you? Oh no, I'm in the vault. That's why. I would have something like that in my inventory. 15 mine, 700 max. I would use that instead. So, I mean, what you're going to be seeing is now these are the accessories that we're trying to compete with. Is the two 1000s, and then 700 plus something useful. If you can't compete with them, then welcome to getting blown up. Alright, back to type 0. Straight wind resists, dark resists, ice resists. So none of these are any good. You're going to be using HP accessories for that fight. Or, stat or HP. Whatever. Up to you. Like that 700 HP, 15 mind is basically Rem's accessory. She calls dibs. Well, this is something that Japan can do too. Because as soon as the boss comes out, then you learn what the boss does and what elements the boss does. And then they can blow up. The global exclusive thing is that I can do all of this at once. On a day where I don't have anything to do. That is the Arcane Lucky Day in the festival. If they keep on giving us Arcane Luckies. I haven't looked at future festivals. But the Arcane Lucky Day is it's the calm before the storm. Please don't pull on the Arcane Lucky. Don't do it. Don't do it. Just don't do it. Final Fantasy X. What do we got here? I know you give HP, right? No, you don't. You suck. When is the Arcane Lucky? 6.5 hours ago. It's currently active. Which means we're only 18 hours away from the Woke Lucky. Not only the Woke Lucky, but the end of Luck of the Realms, which means I've got at least 18 pulls to do in 18 hours. Yep. It's the hype day that occurs 4 times a year. And hopefully we get banner information too. I would really like to look at to see what changes. Oh, 500? No, a 500 max is 750. I'd rather just be wearing a 700 plus 15 stat. Probably, yeah. What's? Oh, yeah. That's something I've only talked about on Discord. But so the login bonus that we're getting for the festival is going to be 10 days long, and on the 9th day, that's when we get our last ticket. There's 5 tickets in total that give guaranteed 6-star in 10 pulls, so 60 total pulls, but 10 pulls, whatever. The last day is going to be July 4th. That's when we get our last ticket, and that's when I'll have a stream and pull all 5 of them. So, another challenge, mini challenge. I think we had one of those last festival too. And I think I struck out pretty damn hard on it, if I remember correctly. But, whatever. It's gonna happen. They're free. Oh, 700. So that with Realm Synergy is going to be 1050. This is actually an accessory worth keeping. Finally, we found an accessory worth keeping. I feel like it's been a while. I don't know. Let me check that. Relic draws, 5th anniversary. Gordon USB, Seymour Arcane, Laguna USB 1, Machina OSB. Wow, impressive. Cecil USB doesn't matter because it's not his fourth one. Ignis USB. Balthier USB 2. Noel Arcane. And that's it. No, so I didn't get Shantotos. I know I got a dupe Shantoto at one point. I just don't know when it was exactly. Was it a daily draw? I don't think so. I think I'm still, to this day, I think the only woke that I've gotten from the daily draw is Emperor. Oh, is the Elemental Draws of Carnage? Yeah, that is the definition of a roller coaster draw fest. Well, yeah, a pretty unimaginative roller coaster. It was a whole ton of crap in one good draw. Yeah, it was closer than I expected to. I didn't expect to get my Arcane Lucky up to, what, 25%? But still, well out of range to pull on it. And those are the only realms that we know of. Final Fantasy 1 doesn't have a Phantasm yet. Or well, yeah, Phantasm, whatever. Phantasm, Dreambreaker is the same thing. So, gonna leave those accessories alone. Well, we got 2, 3, 4, 5, 6. Final Fantasy 6 doesn't have a Dreambreaker yet. So we're leaving those alone. Yeah, but that's only one relic, you know. That's a very, very minuscule chance that you're going to be picking up Cloud's Arcane on that for quite an expensive draw at 25 Mithril. So, not the place to go after Cloud's Arcane. I am not EU. North America. I just hold a strange schedule sometimes. No, it's only 12:39. I'm in Pacific time. Well, Lightning's is really good. Noctis is good too. Yeah, those are good. Two good arcanes. So, I mean, you didn't whiff, and be thankful because it's very easy to whiff on that banner. Oh, yeah, we have plenty of info on the sync draw. It's 100 Mithril. The pool is everything. So just like the dream pulls, your pulls are on everything in the game. You know, BSB plus, whatever. And you get a random sync. Still feel like I won't be doing that. But there's a possibility. Because I don't like the fact that I'd be spending 100 Mithril for something random. Well, I'm not going to shame you because I have I'm more likely to pull on the Awake Select instead of the Sync one. So I'm right there with you. I assign a higher value to lowering random chance. So not only the draw itself is on a 14 relic banner, but being able to choose what I get is more enticing to me than picking up a random sync. Yeah, because you don't have a... You could potentially, if you've got something wrong with your head, you can pick an awakening that you already have. But, yeah, that you can't dupe on a select if you don't want to. But you can potentially dupe on the sync select. That's always a... And people are going to do that. It's going to feel bad when it happens, because I know that there's even going to be people in my Discord that pull for the rando sync and they end up duping it, and it's going to feel pretty bad if they don't get anything good with the 100 mithril itself, which they probably won't, because that's what happens in a BSB plus draw. Those are very low chance to yield anything good. You could potentially get syncs on the pull itself. They're like... They gotta be less than 1% of the pool, though. So unless they... if they mess with the rates, if they curate the rates like they did with the Glint Lucky yesterday, where 6-star were at a higher rate, if for some reason they increase the rate of 7-star on that pull, then okay, sure. I'll be more enticed if they make it less possible to get crap. But I don't expect that to happen. I expect it to be even chance on every relic, which means it's like a less than 1% chance to get a sync. And a very low chance to get Awakening Plus on that pull. So I don't expect to assign any value at all to the 100 mithril that you're spending. 100% crit one? I don't know. I actually haven't looked at Master and seen if that is useful for him at all. Well, in most cases, syncs are side grades, period, to awakenings. There are a few, and there will be more, where syncs can exceed what awakenings do, because syncs have a higher pool of effects that they do. It has nothing, usually has nothing to do with the commands, and how much damage they have, how much damage potential they have, the 6-hit commands. Because awakenings can also use hero abilities and stuff like that. Yeah, Ash's Woke is probably better than her sync. But there are syncs that do what no Woke can do, and Lightnings is one of them. Noctis is another. Orlandeau, Rem. They do start appearing more often. But I would say most syncs are just side grades, where they could be better, they could not be as good. Yeah, Zidane. Zidane's one of them. And there's a common theme in every one of those syncs that I just mentioned is they manipulate ATB. So there's 2 meters that need to fill in this game for your abilities or your soul breaks to execute, and that's ATB, which is affected by haste, and then your cast bar. Up until this point, we've been able to do a bunch of shit that manipulates our cast speed, but ATB has been largely left untouched. And even when you manipulate your cast speed, when you lower it, it's often pretty beneficial to keep on lowering it. Like if you have Quick Cast, which halves your cast speeds, that's powerful enough as it is, and it's often good to keep on lowering your cast speed even further. That's how impactful quick cast is on the game. It's extremely powerful. But ATB manipulation has been basically haste since 3-star abilities. Prior to 3-star abilities, you know, Red 13's unique that gives the team haste and protect. That's where we've been locked for so long. But being able to reduce the time spent doing absolutely nothing while our ATB charges has been finally been unlocked with characters like Lightning and Rem. Rem is probably the best ATB manipulator because I believe it's 15 seconds of just half ATB, which is just that's way too much. That is way too much. What is AWE? Is that Awakening? No, Orlando's Sync does not make his Awakening obsolete. They build on each other. Or rather, the Awakening buffs the Sync. Most used together work well. As long as there's no overlap in a lot of the stuff that they do, as long as you're not breaking the mechanics of the sync with the woke, because that can happen. Getting the extra 10,000 damage cap break is always going to be nice. At least you have that, and that, in many cases that is going to be worth your 500 soul break points. In Orlando's case, not only do you get the extra damage cap break, but Orlando's Sync uses the Thunder God mode status as part of its mechanics, and the fact that his Awakening grants Thunder God mode actually plays into the strength of Orlando's Sync. So they work very well together. Every 2 attack commands you use with Orlando's Sync consumes TGM. It gives him instant cast 1 and instant ATB for the turn. And it consumes TGM in the process. That's how you use Orlando's ATB mechanic. And what's nice about that is you just use his Awakening to not only give yourself more damage cap break, but re-bestow Thunder God mode on him for free, basically. So you don't have to use his Command 2 to give it to him. So it would be Sync, Command, Awakening, and then Spam Command, basically. I don't know if it would be beneficial at that point to keep on giving him Thunder God. Yeah, probably is. Never mind. It probably is. The problem with using his Wake and Sync together is if you do use his Command 2, it's just going to dual cast his Command 2. Because the Awakening is going to delink any ability. So it would be a dead turn. So you need to make sure that using that command provides him with enough benefit to justify the dead turn. Oh yeah, if you can use his Awakening twice, yeah, that That is an extreme benefit. Yeah, good point. Thanks for bringing that up. So you would sync Command Command Awakening, Command Command Awakening. And the boss should be dead. The boss should be in dire peril at that point. Yeah, it's hard to describe the effect that ATB manipulation has in a fight until you've used it. Because it's a level of speed that we're just been conditioned for years not to experience, not to feel that, you know. It's right after Fest, yes. Should be January 16th or 15th. The day after Diablos. It's a really, like, important banner time-wise because it deals with Diablos and the Final Fantasy Tactics Dreambreaker at the same time. I'm not saying it's an OP banner, because it's not, but it does have a lot of good stuff on it and relevant to the period in which it's released in. What are these? Did I not get rid of these? Why did I not get rid of these? It looks like I missed a bunch of Final Fantasy VII stuff. Oops. So yeah, we're looking for Dark Resistant Final Fantasy VII. Looks like I can get rid of more. So really, what does that leave? Final Fantasy 1, Final Fantasy 6. $12. Did 12 just get their Dreambreaker? Or they still don't have it yet. They're due for an event, aren't they? Yeah, they're definitely due. 13 has theirs, 14, 15, 15. Just got theirs now with the Arden event, right? And Type 0 and Tactics both have Dreambreakers. No, I do not suggest using the experience dungeon. The experience gained on Historia Crystals is really, really bad for everything but rat tails. It's reduced, so the benefit that you're getting from leveling them up with using anything but rat tails is probably a waste of your time, unless you got no other places for that experience to go. So as long as you have 6-star Magicites to level up, and it's pretty useful to have 2 of each of them, other than Alexander. Yeah, just don't. Complete this stuff religiously is the better call. Get every rat tail that you can possibly can. Alright, what was the last auto team that I made? 15? That worked well. I think that was my fastest auto yet. Who's next? Yeah, I was thinking Unalesca. Kind of a weird... No, if I was on speed 5, then I could get Riku to go first, and Riku could cast a chain. Or I guess I could have Riku cast her USB 1. The problem with my 10 is the boss does do a fair amount of damage, so I worry about my survivability. Because I have shite for heals. I don't know. Probably. As long as you can set up to rehaste after the dehaste, then Shantoto is largely unaffected by 11's mechanics. So you could just, if you have Shantoto's Woke, you can probably just auto it with that. So it just becomes a matter of not letting haste fall. My auto currently is Final Fantasy Tactics. That's my, farm auto. I made a couple others for fun. And that's why I was asking, who could be next on the fun parade? This Gilgamesh is pretty easy, huh? Uh, 14 does have sap. I don't have a high damage team in 14, so I'm gonna get hit by all the big mechanics that Ultima can throw at you. I don't think that my 14 team is auto ready. Yeah. All content becomes easy at one point. It happens to everything. Time marches on. I don't have that last stand. Well, I would dive him for this. I'm just trying to think about who would be better to use the spell spam on, Galoof or Dorgon. It's probably Galoof. Or no, Dorgon. So I would have to hone up, but Banishing Strike a little bit, which I suppose is okay. And if the team goes fast enough that I can just use Lena instead. But I have my doubts on how fast the team is going to go. Can you just straight up remove soul breaks now? No? Fuck. I don't want him to use his unique. If I had Dorgon Woke, I would not be using Dorgon for Dispel Spam. I know I don't want the chain. Do I want you to arcane or USB? Probably USB. Yeah, that makes sense. Yeah, but not on everybody. Just the slots 1 and 2, right? I don't think you ever see the second blind. You shouldn't. You're not even... So one person here is gonna do nothing, and it's gotta be Kelger. I don't know who else I would use. Creel? Oh yeah, yeah, okay. I can see that. Sure, sure. Oh, man, that stinks, though. Because that's slots 1 and 2. Which means the people that are going to get blinded are going to be the ones that cast the RW. I want Galoof to cast the RW. But I don't want him to get blinded, obviously. Ah, shit. That sucks too. Lena's got to be in slots 1 or 2, which means 1 and 2 are going to cast RW and Magicite. And Lena needs to cast her Glint Plus, so Lena can't be in slots 1 or 2. Man, that blind is a bitch. And she needs to, that's the haste. Well, the only way to avoid this is to use 2 haste materias. So what would happen is I would give, but I really don't want to do that at all, is give Galoof and Dorgon haste. So they would use the Magicite and the RW, leaving Creel and Lena to both do whatever the fuck they want. Or just put it on one person, so then Creel uses the Magicite. Okay, I actually think that's a good idea. So what I'll do is give haste to Dorgon. So that's going to move the order up 1. So Dorgon will use the RW, then Creel will use the Magicite, then that leaves Lena to be able to use her Glint. I don't want Dorgon to use the chain. I want Galoof to use it, but... oh well. Galoof, do you get any plus damage? I don't care about Dorgon's damage since he's just going to be banishing striking. Well, it is 1 a.m. If you're going to be drunk, it's a good time to be drunk. Have I legend dived Creel yet? Probably not. We're about to. I still think we're missing 2 dreams, and I don't know. Soul Breaks do I have for you? Realm Chain doesn't really work in auto that well, unless you want to go no RW. So this. Which means Meltdown. I didn't. Creel has a record board. What's your LM2? Oh, it's one of those quick cast 3 ones. That's not bad. The Bart's gets pretty crazy. Again. I'm not really that thrilled with his Windwoke but or was One Sync that's on Banner 3, the festival, but I'm not like I'd be unhappy with it. Sure you can. Why not? Yeah. It's exactly, it's Bartz. I'm not gonna shy away from getting stuff on Bartz, because DNA loves to make Bartz a useful character. What RM do I give to Creel? For some people, he's the hardest. I think a lot of people, a lot of Ifrit's opponents would disagree with you. I guess they'll give him Holy Gear. Get those banishing strikes up to damage cap at least. Still don't know what RM to give to Grail. I don't think it's really that useful for her to Ace Striker here. But we'll see how much damage she does. Okay. Hone Banishing Strike. How many uses? We'll give you 6. Announcement. Summer Decadence Relic Draw Festival. Oh, nice. I didn't even know about this. All shiny, yeah. 2 6-star, 8 5-star. Yeah, I'm not gonna. No arguments with the free pull. Even though 2 6-star, 8 5-star is probably not good. It's probably not gonna yields very good things for a lot of people, which is gonna piss them off because there's a lot of shinies. So you expect going into it that it's gonna be better than it is. Then they're gonna get jealous that people got like 2 super wokes with their 6 stars. Yeah, just temper your expectations for that pull. It's just fun, really. I'll probably do that with the 5 tickets on July 4th. So this is how this was supposed to go. Dorgan used RW. Creel. Magicite, and then Lenaglint Plus. So haste first turn, that was the goal. It worked. I don't think it's strange. Woke Cecil can be a legitimate white mage. Even if his synchro command is Knight, so you don't want to use the dual cast white with his sync. But Woke Cecil's still good. I wish I could delay Lena's turn a little bit more, so she could heal that burst of damage with her BSB. Oh, Bart's using Titan recast. The worst possible person to do that. I can change the configuration of Bart's Dorgan and Galoof and manipulate that a little bit, try to get a better result. And the choice of using Galoof's USB 2 on him is definitely the right one. Only at 50%. This should be a good turn. Full health. And this is his chase turn. 6 imperils, almost maxed chain. Didn't break damage cap though. They do side. Actually, it should have already been added, I think. Have you checked recently? 23.4 ain't bad. For a run where Bartz uses the Magicite recast. Yeah, it should have been added with his sync. That's how it was in Japan. If it wasn't, then that is worrying. But he does get one eventually. Or he should. They don't forget about it. No need. Looking at it on stream right now. Okay, let's try just switching Galoof and Bartz. That right there works better. Because on the previous attempts, Bartz's first attack didn't hit on the chain. And hopefully somebody better uses that Magicite this time. Isn't that a gravity attack? It's the worst thing to ever use a Medica before. Not like it ended up mattering, because the boss doesn't do enough damage, but... Lena uses Titan with this conflict. I'll tell you right now. That's a slight improvement. Unless I die because of it. Which I don't think is going to happen. Because once Bart starts attacking, you start cruising through phases, which means you get hit with the more divine readinesses. So less damage intake. Bart's went nuts on this attempt. It's a full, what, 6 seconds faster? Just by swapping Galoof and Bart's positions. He doesn't get more money. What the fuck was I looking at? Well, I see. I think I just kind of assumed when I saw the event itself. I think I remember now. Oh, okay. Poster was blind. Alright. That's, I was not blind. Whew, thank goodness. I screw up enough shit. $90 mind is a considerable sum. Let's hope he gets that soon, because Diablos is a couple weeks away. Alright, I'm pretty pleased with the Final Fantasy V team. I'm probably not going to use it. It's just fun to make one of these now and then. Unfortunately, there's nothing I could do to delay Lena's turn. So that her BSB goes off after the gravity attack. And it doesn't matter. But it feels like, you know, like a no-no. So if I could defeat it, I would want to, but I can't. Well, yeah, I mean, it's 90 base. Base stat is important because that's the base that gets multiplied with buffs. Cecil's base being so ridiculously low right now means that buffs don't even really do that much to it. So you gotta raise that base. 90 raised from whatever abysmal number it is right now is a big, big deal. I do believe Magia counts as base, so it would be multiplied by buffs. I think the only stat increases that we get that don't get multiplied by buffs, they're added on top of the stack, are Magicite. So if you have attack boons providing 300 attack or 300 mind, you would take your base, multiply it by the buff, and then add the boon on top of that, where I think Magia just increases your base, which is preferred. Alright, well, I ran out of shit to do. Well, I could probably stream for weeks and still talk about stuff because of the way this game is, but... as soon as possible. Yeah. It doesn't make a whole lot of sense to do events during a festival because there's usually like double greens active. So you want to do these events while stamina is its least valuable. Which is right now. So I should have done these a while ago. I just been slacking. Zero. I did them all on that stream. There you go. Go Wolf. Cecil can use bows. Final Fantasy IV Realm Bow. That's Dreambreaker only, and I don't know why you would use White Mage Cecil on Dreambreaker. Well, I guess actually I can think of a couple reasons. Because Edward exists. Does, what... Well, for Dreambreaker, you could just use attack instead, and there's a lot more choices for that. So for Diablos... I think I was fuming about this on Discord the other day. That there's no Holy Mind Bow. Yeah, I was, because this is Rose's USB 1. Why in the fuck is Rose's USB 1 being used as a magic bow when there's nobody in the game that wants a magic bow? Nobody. Zero. One person can use them. Arc. But why would he? Arc deals white magic damage, mind-based damage for Holy, and does magic damage for his summoning, his water. So nobody wants this. And it's a Rose's. This should have been a mind bow. There are definitely uses for a mind bow. I don't know why this exists. Cecil, for instance, would very much like to use this. But you're just going to have to deal with giving him a dagger. And if you got the daggers on him, that means someone else can't use them. I haven't looked at this screen in a while. Yeah, well. Yeah. If it's not an artifact, then it's no bueno. We're looking to get the most base stats that we possibly can on Cecil. In fact, I'd probably take a non-holy damage artifact over a 6-star on Cecil, because base stats are that important for him. Oh yeah, I wasn't. And look at the bottom. Are we getting close to 10k on anything yet? Just black is at 6,000. Got a ways to go. Oh, man. The latest hydration. Oh, so nice. I was on double-digit waters for a couple of these. Null, or not Aegis, I don't think. But Null in Life. Thank goodness for holy or life waters. Yeah, I will. When Diablos and the Tactus Dreambreaker come out. How's Ramza doing? How hydrated is he? 30 attack. So I'd be giving him some life waters. Even though it put him at about 1200 HP, which is probably unnecessary, but I want to do whatever I can for Dreambreaker. And it's not like, now that we have all these waters as backup, it's not... I don't need to hyper-manage my life waters anymore. Well, Rem doesn't have any dagger damage. There's no reason to use one on her, since she has access to other equipment slots. Right? Yeah. She doesn't need a dagger. It doesn't do anything special for her. You can use rods and stabs. Oh yeah, I was looking at tactics. So I gotta hydrate Ronzo a little bit. What about Agrius? Oh, you need some life too. But that's all you need. You need the full complement just like Ramza, except for attack. And if I end up getting Marsh stuff, then I'll definitely need to water him, because I would not have even thought to spend a single water on you ever. Also Ovelia. Yeah, it looks like my whole tactics team is pretty thirsty. So that's it's gonna be a lot of waters gone. 150 life waters, at least. It's a good thing we have 500 now, or I have 500. I don't know about any other people's. I have a lot of record dungeons to do, so I've got a lot of waters left in here. Oh my god. Yep. I'm pretty far behind in this. I probably have like 100 plus mithril inside my record dungeons. I will get to these one of these days. Maybe I'll just have a stream about it. I still have stuff to get in chapter 1 too, I think. Yeah, a few. 4, 9, 11, 14. 14 left. But no, chapter 2 is 3 entire islands completely untouched, as well as 5 and 4 more there. That is a lot of mithril. I have no idea. Just a bum. Just a lazy bum. Alright, well, I'm out of here. Big ass stream. Big ass stream. Technically today, but tomorrow. God, I have so many draws to do. So yeah, I'll see everybody then.